What am I doing now? Well, used to that being at the end now. Jack me up. Let's not say we did. All right. Welcome to this week's Kline May Realty Showcase. I'm Jonathan Mayo with Hearthstone Realty Group. If you see a property that interests you, give us a call. We'd also like to thank our sponsors and enjoy the show.
Allison and I, we met online and we quickly realized that we had a lot in common. We both have one boy. She has a son named Alex and I had a son named Elias. And from there, we really quickly developed our relationship. So with me being in Harrisonburg and Allison living down in Forest, which is about a 2-hour drive, for a time we were doing date nights on weekdays where we would have a 1-hour trip to meet and then a 1-hour trip home to go back home. Both working full time, and I think we got tired of that pretty quickly.
Having to say bye, not being local, like having to say see you later, goodbye, over and over again. And I knew after probably just like a month or two, I wanted to marry you.
So we got engaged in October of 2021, and it was at that time where we decided, hey, January wedding, we don't have a very long time to do all this. We were thinking, hey, are we gonna be moving everybody into a townhouse, or are we gonna be able to find something in such a short turnaround to be able to move into right after we get married? We were looking for a slower pace of life, somewhere where we could just come home to and it be tranquil like it is here. I contacted Zach and set up a meeting with him and explained to him our timeline. Again, we had already set the date for January to get married, and again, that gave us a little over 3 months to again sell 2 houses and buy one. And for Zach's portion, that was going to be to sell my townhouse in Harrisonburg and then find a place here local to live. Basically, Zach told me, all right, let's start, and kind of gave us a plan. Again, walking into that, I wasn't sure that it was going to be possible with that timeline, but he made it work and couldn't be more pleased with it. But I'll add that the first purchase of my house actually fell through, and that was another part of where Zach really kept things calm.
He was like really positive.
We relisted and it was sold again within a few days. I think that he kept things a lot more cup half full than half empty than I had. So.
Even though I had to do, a lot of things by video and distance, I trusted Zach and Hans's judgment with knowing him previously, and he did seem really knowledgeable.
I am glad that I chose Zach as my realtor, and I've already told him that, I have siblings coming up the line, and he's definitely going to be a recommendation to them.
It's really, really nice for especially me and Hans to be together and finally in one spot.
It wasn't a job for him, it was more of a friend helping us find a house. Even after we got the house, he's checked in on how things were going, and that just means a lot to me. And it was, hey, let's stay in touch, and if you ever need anything, reach out, and I plan to do so. I'm very glad I chose that.
Whether you're looking to purchase or refinance a home, DuPont Community Credit Union has mortgage options to fit your life. With fixed and adjustable rate options that offer low down payments, DCCU's team of local mortgage advisors will advise you on the best mortgage option and guide you through the lending process, from pre-approval to making memories in your new home. Start your home buying journey today at mydccu.com. Home buyers beware. That's Virginia's motto. So do not buy someone else's problems. Never skip the home inspection. Even if you're buying as is or FYI, for your own protection, get a home inspection from Aztec Home Inspections. We provide home buyers with thorough and informative home inspections, radon testing, and mold testing. Get protected during your home buying process. Know before you buy. Schedule online at aztechomeInsp.com.
Hi, I'm Karl Waizecker, Principal Broker at Kline May Realty. Thanks for joining us for another Q&A with Kline May. Today our coffee comes from a roaster called Chameleon. This is their Daydreamer blend, and the interesting thing about this is organic, sustainably grown coffee for less than $10 a bag, which is kind of hard to find. And that's really good. If you like a strong cup of coffee, not necessarily super deep and rich, but just a strong flavor without being bitter, that's a really good one. Our question today, I think, is one that people sometimes don't think about because they assume they know the answer, and in a lot of cases they're surprised to find out that they're wrong. The question is, what does a seller have to disclose when they're selling the house? In Virginia, the rule of thumb, whether you're buying a house or a car or a television, is buyer beware. The seller doesn't have to tell you most things that you would expect that they do. In the real estate world, in the law in Virginia, there are 6 specific things that if they apply, the seller has to disclose to buyers. If those 6 things don't apply, they don't have to say anything. They don't have to say if the basement gets wet, if the roof leaks, if water runs from a neighbor's property onto theirs every time it rains. Any of those things, even if they know good and well that that's the case. So that's why it's very, very important for buyers to get an inspection, to ask their agent every question they can think of about the property, the neighborhood, and those type of things. The 6 things that a seller is required to disclose, which really only a couple of them apply in our area here in the Shenandoah Valley, are whether you're near a military air base where there's excessive noise, and that has to be military, not just a public airport, whether there are current building or zoning violations of which the owner is aware and they're not fixing, if there's a lease pendens on the property, which is an public announcement that there's been a lawsuit filed challenging the property rights or the ownership of the property, if the property had previously been used to produce methamphetamine and hasn't been remediated in an approved way, if there's a stormwater management facility on the property that requires maintenance, where other people are going to have to be coming onto the property to service it, that needs to be disclosed. And the last one is fairly new, and that has to do with floods. So it used to be that even if a seller knew their house flooded frequently, they didn't have to tell prospective buyers about that. The law changed a couple years ago and now says that if a seller has had 2 flood losses of at least $1,000 each in the past 10 years, they have to disclose to potential buyers that they've had multiple losses. But other than those 6 things, it is completely and totally up to the buyer to discover any problems with the property or to ask any questions or have whatever inspections they think they need to be assured that this is the house they want to buy. If you'd like to keep up on what's going on with our market, as always, we've got a link in the description right below that'll take you to the newest listings that have hit our market in the past 2 weeks. If you've got a question for me or a coffee you'd like to see us try here, please send that to questions@klinemay.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
all want to give our kids the best of everything, the best nutrition, the best education, and the best place to grow up, even the air they breathe. Lennox strives to provide the best air quality for your family's home, free of indoor air pollutants.
At Landis Heating and Air Conditioning, they can install a Lennox customized comfort system in your home. Let Landis sweat the details so you can relax in comfort. Call my friends at Landis Heating and Air Conditioning today. Get up to $1,700 in rebates.
Hey Keenan, it's awesome that we're finally able to sit down and have a chat. I know we've been in the office a couple years together in the Harrisonburg location, and I'm finally getting a chance to see you face to face.
Yeah, Derek, it has been a while. We've had a couple of emails and phone calls, but we've never had a chance to sit down and talk together, and I'm excited to get to know a little bit about you.
What is something interesting about yourself that not a lot of people know?
So in high school, I was an athlete, and I was an all-state athlete in two different sports. Went on to earn a scholarship, a football scholarship, across the mountain here in Charlottesville. Okay. And during that time, I was on the field against 3 people who are now in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
And what I learned was the difference between NFL talent and college talent. And I was college talent.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I guess I would bounce that back at you. What is there something about you that people wouldn't know?
Well, I played football, but I definitely wasn't college or even very much high school talent, but I did play high school football. But no, I think one thing about me that a lot of people may not know is I originally wanted to get in law enforcement. That's the career field I was lining things up to do. I did loss prevention for years. I was a criminal justice minor at James Madison University. I dispatched before, and I was kind of lining things up to go that route, and found real estate somewhere in between, found some timeshare things in between, and never end up going that direction. One of the things that draws me to being able to do real estate and be in this area is I've built a lot of connections through the area, and I feel like it's my home.
You know, Derek, you make a great point, because we moved here 26 years ago, and we've raised 4 children in this area, and the Valley is really a welcoming place to raise a family.
Yep.
Well, Derek, I'm glad we had this opportunity to sit down and talk. I feel like I know a lot more about you. Just been a good opportunity to sit down and chat.
I feel the same way. I'm glad we had this opportunity. I look forward to doing it again soon.
Yeah, much success to you.
Same to you.
Thanks for joining us this morning. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'd like to thank our sponsors and see you next week.